Hi everyone, my name is Rudra Sekri and welcome to the Astropods. Today we have someone on the show who loves to share their passion for the night sky with his community through astrophotography and joined us on the podcast to inspire you to potentially get involved in astrophotography. This talented person from Canada believes that technology is available at our fingertips, and with enough time and dedication, even you can become an astrophotographer. However, due to pressing issues in astronomy such as light pollution, he is concerned that our view of the night sky will never be the same. It is my utmost pleasure and excitement to introduce Craig to the Astropods. Thank you so much for joining with us, Craig.
Thanks for the great introduction, Rudra. It was my pleasure to come on the podcast and share some of my views when it comes to, astrophotography and the hobby in general.
Thank you so much, Craig. It's really fascinating to hear some of your past experience about astronomy, how you got interested in that, and being able to look at the rings of Saturn. Not many people get to do that. For me, my reason as to why I got interested in astronomy is just by watching videos online of astrophysics and stuff like that, like why Einstein's theory of relativity exists and why it works and stuff like that. It's so mind-boggling, but it was so fascinating to me. And then also being able to look at you know photos compiled by astrophotographers over the years, and it's just really fascinating to see how they pull it off. Um, but let's go from the past to the future. But more specifically, what do you think is the future of astrophotography and astronomy? And what are some of the concerns you have about the future of our night skies?
Yeah, for sure. The future is always hard to predict. I mean, I'd hate to be someone that said I could predict it, but based on what I've seen since, I kind of got into the photography side of astronomy in, 2009-ish. Technology obviously is advancing, and with it, it impacts everything, and no different than astrophotography. The cameras are getting more sensitive. Um, the quality is going up. The noise levels are going down. All those things help make taking those pictures easier. So I don't suspect that's going to stop. I suspect it's going to continue to get better and better with the advances in technology. And I mean, I've seen people taking really good pictures of, say, the Milky Way with their smartphones. In 2009, that was not happening, not even close. So it's just a general progression of all that stuff. So I think we're likely to continue to see that. Where we might run into more problems isn't so much those areas. It's the light pollution that's really impacting the skylines around a lot of the North American and European cities. I mean, populations are growing, which means people need to see in the night. And up until, I would say, recently, and again, technology with LEDs and being able to like direct the light where they need it is helping. But in some cases, there's not that. There's a lot of thought put into it, so you're getting a lot of that light being blasted off into space, which does no good for anybody, and it's a waste of electricity, a waste of resources, and all it does is hamper our ability to see what's out there. The other thing that isn't talked about nearly as much is the satellites, and that's because it's a recent phenomena. They're launching. We're launching more and more satellites every year to help with things such as weather forecasting. Well, you pick any, communications, but all those satellites are starting to add up, and they, when you're taking pictures or observing, you just see so many more images impacted by those satellite trails, or or even when you're looking up and enjoying the night sky, there's things running across it in every direction at all times, almost, it seems now. So it's a dramatic difference from 2009 till just now. And if you fast forward another decade, what's it going to be like? So, and maybe there needs to be some more thought put into that, and how that impact is going to play out, because at some point the whole sky will be covered in satellites if it continues on the path it's going. So hopefully we don't go there per se, but it's a tough balance because all those satellites help humanity out in different ways too. So I'm not sure what the solution is, but it's definitely a bit of an issue.
Yeah, I've heard that oh, sorry. I was just
Go
gonna
ahead.
quickly add on with another follow-up question, and that is that I've heard that SpaceX is planning on adding this dark coating to the satellites to reduce the amount of light being reflected from those satellites back down to Earth. Do you see that self as a potential stepping stone towards reducing the amount of light pollution from satellite trails?
It's possible, but at the end of the day, that satellite's still going to block the light from getting, to Earth from wherever it's coming from. So but it might help. I'm not sure. I haven't done any research into that or any investigative work on it, so I don't know. But it's good they're exploring options and techniques that might help for sure. That's okay. I was just going to mention, I mentioned the cameras, but in the mounts themselves and the telescopes themselves, there's a lot of technological advances that are helping increase, how sensitive those are, and basically it boils down to how easy it is to take that picture or do that shot. So it's opening up the doors to more and more people being able to get involved in the hobby because it's easier to do. So generally speaking, the easier something is to do, and if it's something everybody enjoys, the more people take part in it.
Yeah, for sure. Do you also see that have you seen light pollution or even satellite trails affect your own photographs occasionally?
Oh, they definitely do. I am lucky enough to live near a smaller city. It's still a city, and it still impacts the sky, but the filters that are out on the market now are definitely have come leaps and bounds from years ago. So they allow you to really kind of block out some of that light pollution, and that really increases exposure times and makes processing them easier. I've seen some really good images, right from downtown, pick a city. So that's nice. It's nice that you can still do that in an urban environment. However, it's not optimal, and it still makes it challenging. And the bigger thing is awareness. If young kids growing up or teenagers, they can't see the sky, they don't see the stars, it's just kind of not on their mind. They don't think about it. I don't know. Without being exposed to it, you can't enjoy it. So I think that's a bigger part of that picture is the more people able to enjoy being out under the stars, the more people might look at the universe and realize that we are just a small part of it, and as such, it kind of puts a lot of things into perspective. And I think humanity in general would do better if people didn't sweat the small stuff so much.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much, Craig. Make sure to subscribe to the Astropods because we will be having more people just like Craig joining our podcast to share their expertise in their respective fields of astronomy. And have a great day.